But think how ironic that Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar and the rest of the ladies on The View spend their time calling Republicans the conspiracy theorists. But they have been wrong about everything they have said over the last couple of years.
Guys, buckle up because what you're about to hear is absolutely wild. We've got drama, legal threats, and a fiery young conservative who just shook one of America's most controversial talk shows to its core. You might think The View has seen it all. Shouting matches, walk-offs, and scandal after scandal. But trust me, this latest meltdown makes all that look tame. In the next few minutes, you'll find out exactly why ABC execs are in full-blown panic mode and how a bold legal bombshell could finally force The View to face the music. Ready for the jaw-dropping details? Then let's dive right in. The View has built an empire on controversy. They thrive on drama, heated arguments, and loud personalities who love to dish out hot takes.
I am stating facts that your colleagues have stated in the past.
Okay,
now,
I'm sorry, guys. We're going to come back out to the panel. Karoline, thank you very much for your time. That was so good.
Often without much concern for facts. Lately, though, they've been treading on thin ice. With ratings bouncing around and critics accusing the show of toxic double standards, it seemed only a matter of time before something or someone lit the match. Enter Karoline Leavitt, the young conservative firebrand who's been making waves in Republican circles. Folks, this isn't your average political spokesperson. She's known for coming in hot, delivering facts with zero apologies, and not backing down when the usual media machine tries to intimidate her. And that's exactly how a simple TV appearance morphed into a boiling feud that could take down one of daytime television's most iconic and controversial shows. But The View wasn't prepared to handle Karoline's unfiltered approach. They tried to throw her under the bus with cheap shots and condescending remarks. Unfortunately for them, she wasn't having it. That's when everything blew up, and we'll get into every detail. But that was just the spark that set off the wildfire. So how did it all go down? On a recent episode, the panel, led by Joy Behar, Whoopi Goldberg, and Sunny Hostin, set their sights on Karoline Leavitt. They lobbed a slew of insulting jabs at her intelligence, experience, and even her motivation for being in politics. Joy smirked and suggested Karoline was basically hired just for her looks, implying she had no real merit. Whoopi, in her usual lecturing tone, claimed Karoline should be grateful for wokeness. This from a show that constantly preaches women's empowerment? The hypocrisy was glaring. Sunny Hostin jumped in to mock Karoline's background, questioning her credibility as if she'd never earned her spot at the table. What made it all the more outrageous was how they framed it as protecting women, while openly tearing down a woman who simply disagreed with their politics. And guess what? Karoline wasn't about to sit quietly and nod along. But the real explosion happened when Karoline fired back. Karoline didn't tiptoe around their insults. She slammed back with facts and a calm, but scorching takedown of The View's narrative. Suddenly, those jabs about her qualifications looked ridiculously petty. She reminded them that women and viewers in general are tired of the media's constant double standards, where only the right kind of female opinions are welcome. She accused The View of spewing divisive rhetoric, painting entire swaths of the American population as backward, and then acting shocked when people fight back. Unlike the usual guests who might grovel for approval, Karoline delivered a 1-2 punch that had The View's hosts scrambling to change the subject. Clips of her rebuttal went viral on social media. Within hours, the public reaction? Massive. One side cheered her for calling out the show's hypocrisy. The other side lashed out, insisting The View was just doing their job. But you know what they say, if you dish it out, you better be ready to take it. Little did they know, Karoline was about to escalate the showdown to a whole new level. Here's where it gets really interesting. Folks, after The View doubled down on snide remarks and condescending jokes, Karoline and her team decided they'd had enough. Rumors started swirling that they were contemplating legal action, something big, aimed right at ABC's jugular. Defamation. You heard that right. It's a word that always sends media execs into a panic. Allegedly, Karoline's team felt The View and ABC had crossed from spirited debate into outright character assassination. And let's be honest, there's a fine line between tough political commentary and spinning outright fabrications about someone's career or motives. Executives at ABC reportedly went into full crisis mode the moment they heard the word lawsuit. Remember, a major network's legal team exists for exactly this reason, to minimize damage and keep the brand from looking incompetent. But if The View truly defamed Karoline, that's a massive liability. No easy spin could save them from a courtroom fiasco. But The View's problems didn't end there. They were about to face a rebellion from their own audience. Behind the scenes, leaks started pouring out, alleged frantic emails, tense phone calls, and emergency meetings. Some producers were freaking out, blaming Joy Behar and Whoopi Goldberg for stepping too far over the line. Others were furious at Karoline for not just taking the heat like typical guests do. Meanwhile, certain hosts started doubling down on social media, painting themselves as the real victims of so-called conservative attacks. Sponsors were none too pleased either. Big brands don't exactly love being connected to potential defamation or vicious political mudslinging. Facing a PR disaster, ABC bigwigs reportedly scrambled to salvage deals, calm worried advertisers, and figure out if they needed to do damage control by suspending any of The View's leading ladies. It didn't help that the show's loyal fan base started showing cracks. Yes, some viewers cheered The View for pushing back against a conservative figure, but more moderate fans, and even some diehards, questioned the host's behavior. Aren't they supposed to uplift women, they asked. It was a bad look to slam Karoline based purely on her looks and perceived lack of experience, especially coming from a group that always demands respect for women in media. And if there's one thing you can't ignore, it's a massive wave of public outrage. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, you name it. People couldn't stop talking about this mess. Hashtags like #CancelTheView and #StandWithCaroline began trending. Within hours, reaction videos and commentary pieces flooded social networks. The more The View tried to spin their side, the more viewers dug up old clips of them exhibiting that same preachy, condescending attitude. Many folks pointed out the irony. The View touts itself as a space for diverse women's voices, yet they seem to resent any woman who doesn't parrot their talking points. Karoline became a sort of rallying symbol for conservatives tired of seeing their perspectives dismissed on mainstream platforms. Suddenly, the show was in an even deeper hole. Even the hosts who didn't directly insult Karoline found themselves guilty by association. The average viewer saw them all as a single unit. If Joy or Whoopi cross a line, then the entire panel looked bad. And guess what that does to ratings over time? Exactly. Down, down, down. But the real shock came when rumors hinted that ABC might make a drastic move. With legal threats in the air and sponsors sweating bullets, network insiders began whispering about a potential doomsday scenario, canceling The View altogether. Sounds extreme, right? But when you've got a show that's become a daily lightning rod for controversy, and you're losing your credibility in the process, drastic steps come up in conversation. Executives weighed their options. On one hand, The View is a known ratings engine whenever viral drama hits. On the other hand, you can't bank on controversy forever, especially if it risks sinking the entire brand. Rumors also surfaced about possibly firing one or two hosts to placate critics, with letting Joy or Whoopi go save face for ABC. Some people think it might, while others believe the damage is beyond repair. And there's another factor here. The audience has changed. Viewers are more critical. They're not so easily swayed by loud personalities. They want facts, fairness, and yes, spirited debate, but not outright insults or hypocrisy. If The View can't adapt, it might crumble. Yet just when it seemed like the chaos couldn't get any worse, another twist emerged, sending ABC into full damage control mode. Reports claim that in private conversations, Joy Behar and Whoopi Goldberg stood by their comments, insisting Karoline's politics deserved the scorn they piled on. Publicly, however, they downplayed the insults, accusing critics of overreacting. This defensive stance only fueled more backlash. Viewers weren't buying it. Sunny Hassan also found herself under fire for labeling Karoline's supporters as ill-informed, as if calling people ignorant would somehow calm things down. Not likely. Meanwhile, Karoline continued her media blitz, unapologetically highlighting The View's double standard. She thanked supporters and teased more details about the legal angle against ABC. Online sleuths then uncovered past clips of The View that could potentially bolster Karoline's claims. Moments where they singled out conservative women for mockery or made borderline defamatory remarks without providing evidence. Some legal experts weighed in, saying The View's pattern of behavior might strengthen Karoline's case in court. But what's next for this daytime drama? Let's peel back one more layer. At this point, everything hangs in the balance. Maybe ABC will decide The View is still worth the trouble, bank on the controversies to spike ratings, and ride out the storm. Maybe they'll shake up the panel, possibly letting go of the loudest offenders to appease advertisers. Or maybe, just maybe, they'll pull the plug entirely, deciding the show has finally become too toxic to handle. No matter what happens, The View's Meltdown shines a glaring light on larger issues within mainstream media. Shows that claim to represent all women often shut down any dissent. Networks hungry for ratings sometimes push divisive rhetoric, then feign shock when it backfires. The question is, will they learn anything from this fiasco or keep doubling down? We're almost at the end of this roller coaster, but we got one final piece to address. So folks, there you have it. A daytime talk show in crisis, a rising conservative star fighting back, and an entire network caught in the crosshairs. Will ABC make a bold move to save face, or cling to the scandal for the sake of viewership? And what does this showdown say about the state of public discourse, where shouting matches replace real debate and insults overshadow facts? Here's where you come in. Do you think The View finally went too far this time? Will Karoline's potential lawsuit change anything, or is this just another headline that'll fade away? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let us know if you believe The View is done for good, or if this will only make them more infamous. By the way, if you found these revelations as shocking as we did, make sure to smash that like button and hit subscribe for more unfiltered breakdowns and updates. Trust me, guys, this story is still evolving, and you won't want to miss the next bombshell that could seal The View's fate. Thanks for sticking around till the end. Now go share this with your friends so they know exactly what's going down behind daytime TV's most explosive stage.